One of the best perimeter defenders.
Where my dogs at? Ooh, ball, all of my dog, ball to the dance.
This guy, Tony Allen.
He is a competitor. I'll come at your name.
14 years in the league, a
sir.
champ, 6-time all-defense. They were worried about your highlight reel. Did you approve of that?
Yeah, you like that, TA?
Yeah, I had a few more plays y'all probably could have put in there.
That's fair. That is totally fair. We're going to get into all things Tony Allen, but I do have to ask you about your final season in Memphis because it was Chandler's first, and we are very familiar with how he feels about his time there. First of all, any stories that you could share with us about a young Chandler Parsons?
Oh, man, one thing about Chandler, man, and I don't know your status now, Chandler, so just
No problem.
God.
But I ain't gonna lie, he kept some nice in the front row, man.
Tony, come on, for Christ's sake, I'm
Dude,
married.
it was a long time ago. I'm pretty sure you had a pass.
I didn't know now, but I mean, we played.
In the front row,
Appreciate
too.
that.
I always wondered what Chandler had in the front row, man.
What is wrong with you?
proud of you
I got to
guys.
ask you
I'm
about
proud
the
of you.
booing because it seems like Memphis fans, maybe they never got behind Chandler. He obviously has been scarred by this chapter of his life. What was the deal there? Why did everyone hate Chandler so much?
Oh, man.
I don't think they hated Chandler, man. I think Chandler was pretty loved, man. And I mean, at least I know in the locker room. As far as the other people, man, hey, man, everybody can't like you, man. I just know one thing for sure, two for certain. He worked hard, man. He tried to get out there as much as he could, man. But, hey, man, sometimes that's how the cookie crumbles, man.
Appreciate that, TA. I appreciate that. And I miss you, man. It's been too long.
Much love, bro.
TA, congrats are in order, man. That number 9 went up in the Raptors in Memphis. Congratulations. Walk me through the night. What was that experience like? Did anything surprise you? Anybody showed up that you weren't expecting? Walk me through that special night.
Man, it was a great experience. I can't front, man. I'm very thankful for it, man. Big shout out to the organization. But as far as just that day, you know, just having so many people come in from Chicago, Oklahoma State, I had a whole bunch of, you know, alumni come, and just seeing all the people just come and show love. My family, my mom, my dad. You know, it was a real good feeling, man. But I can't front. I was nervous. Palms were sweating. I mean, it was one of those things like, dang, what do I do? But once I got up there, you know, got to do my speech, everybody kept saying, write something down, write something down, write something down. I'm like, nah, I'm going to just go from the heart. And just as far as anybody that surprised me that came, probably was Derrick Rose and Paul Pierce. You know, they was part of a little interviewing session before we started. And just to hear some of the great things they said about me and our experiences and being friends. So it was a good night.
That's amazing.
Okay, Tony, I have to ask. First of all, you didn't write anything down, but your speech was 50 minutes.
You freestyled that entire thing?
You freestyled 50 minutes? I do this for a living, and I couldn't do that.
I mean, I had a lot of great experience with some of my teammates that was there and showed up. And, you know, I pretty much just talked about the times we had, some of the times that stuck out. Even Rudy Gay came, you know what I mean? We all know Rudy Gay in the start of our run with Gritty Grant. You know, he hurt his shoulder, but a lot of people don't know he put in a lot of work, man. He actually got us to that point, you know what I mean, before he got hurt. And I just want to let the crowd know that, you know, Rudy, hey, I love you. The city still love you. Come back and show your face a little more. That was probably one of the big highlights of the night too, because Rudy sat kind of in the back, but I had to let him know he didn't go unnoticed.
TA, congrats again on that, man. Much deserved. And just being there with you for those 3 years, I know how much love and how much respect that whole city, that franchise has for you. But let's talk about the nickname, the Grindfather. Do you even know when that started? Who gave you that nickname initially?
Oh, man. I remember being on Twitter. It was X now, but at the time somebody was saying the Grindfather, and they put it in like, I don't know if you ever saw the Godfather like form, and they just put my face on it and things of that nature. And at the time, I had a Rolls Royce, a Ghost, and somebody made it as a license plate. And I'm like, yo, whoever could give me this license plate, you know, I'm gonna put it on my car. And I put it on my car, and before you know it, everybody just ran with it, the Grindfather, and it fit well because of how I play, man. You know, I'm a defensive-minded guy. I think defense was first. Hell, defense is how I score. You get what I'm saying? So I fitted it and put it on my back, man, and rode.
It's awesome.
That's pretty awesome. All right, so the grit and grind era, not glitz and glamour, and that y'all might have just slapped the crap out of each other. Those were things that were said and thought. So back then, were there specific players who, when they would come to town, you'd be a little more excited to see out there?
If you averaged over 20 points, 25 points a game, those were the matchups I was looking forward to. I knew if I could shut you down, these are my best chances of getting on this first team all defense. You get what I'm saying? And I wanted a DPOY. I was just talking to Marc Gasol the other day. We interviewed him on Out the Mud. I asked him if he can give me that trophy. He said he ain't trophy. Marc said he ain't coming off that trophy. So, yeah, just anytime I see a guy like whether you got a KD, Bron, Russ, any of those top prolific guys, I got up to play with. And I got my rest. And I was hoping they got theirs, too, because it was going to be a dogfight that night. And that's why I hung my hat at on the defensive end. If you was a guy that, that didn't average too many points, it was going to be a long night for you.
Tia, do you think just because the guards don't have as many block shots or rebounds or whatever, that's why it's harder for a guard to get Defensive Player of the Year? Because you look at a guy like you, 6-time all defense. How does that even make sense that you don't have a Defensive Player of the Year, everything you did on that end of the floor?
Oh, man. I think if we change the way we vote for these things, I think if we just kept it coaches and players, I think you'll see more guards, get that award. I think when you got a lot of beat writers who, have favorite players and things of that nature, I think that play a big factor in guys and getting it. You look at a guy, we go Marc Gasol. In their years, I finished up fourth, I think maybe fifth in defensive voting. But if you look at our analytic numbers, they was the same. I felt like, I was locking down the perimeter. He was holding down the paint. Tomato. You know what I mean? And Marc ended up getting it. But as of now, you don't see too many guards getting it. It's mainly for the big man.
I wouldn't mind if the coaches voted that.
It also makes no sense because most of the other team's best scorers are wings and guards. So you're guarding the best offensive scorer. It's usually not a big. You know what I mean? So it doesn't really make sense.
It makes no sense. By the way, when you watch the game today, are there any of the young guys, this new generation up and coming that has that sort of grit and grind DNA?
Oh, man, the guys that stand out to me the most are those Thompson twins. Those guys can, lock you down defensively from the perimeter. They can stick 1 through 4. They crash in the glass. They getting extra possessions for their team. It's like they out there just playing all hard, grit and grind basketball all over again. And respectively, for those clubs that they at, they going to be needed. And I just like the way they put their hard hat on night in, night out. If any of those guys can fit the grit and grind first team all defense, it should be them.
I love that. Tia, you spoke about the Out the Mud podcast and your partner in crime, Zebo. Where did that connection come from, man? And what was the experience like playing with him?
Oh, the connection came early on. I had been knowing about Zebo way before. And, we got mutual friends from Chicago, things of that nature. But once we got together, though, it was one of those situations where Chris Wallace didn't think it could actually work. He thought me and him would feud or bump heads or whatnot. I don't know why he thought that. But once I had met him at a more sacred connection is when Lorenzen Wright died. Rest in peace, Lorenzen Wright. I saw him at the funeral, and he looked like he was chiseled, looked like he was in shape, kind of swole. I'm like, damn, I'm thinking Zebo's body fat up in the sky or something. I looked on my face. I said, damn, Zebo, you look fit. He said, yeah, I'm ready to go, bro. I'm ready to go. We got to make some noise. We missed the playoffs like 10 games the previous year I got there. And from that point on, I went back to the gym, started working on my body, working on my game, things of that nature. And I followed that belief of what he was saying. Like, we going to make some noise. And before you know it, man, I got in that locker room, man. It was just some things I just couldn't understand about him. Like, he got this tough persona. Everybody, kind of scared of him on the court, but off the court, he'd give you his shirt off his back. And I'm like, this is kind of different. And then just to see how much he was to me as a brother and a friend, it was like, man, I kind of like this side of Zebo. And then you got to seeing him playing. He didn't jump too high. He didn't, he wasn't your flashy type guy, but he got it done. And that's what I liked about Big Bro. He always got it done.
I'll tell you this, when I signed there, I was terrified of both of them. And both of them, like he just said, they couldn't have been nicer. Like Zebo is scary as hell from the outside looking in, but he was the nicest dude ever, same with Tony. So it's funny that the thoughts you have about them before you get in there are completely different to what they really are.
Because what, you had only just seen them play?
Well, I just play against them, and they talk trash, and they're tough, and they play hard, you know what I mean? So it's like different. Then you get to know them, you go to dinner with them, and they're just normal, genuine dudes. Like
Yeah, T.A., you talked about Zebo's tough, his tough personality and how he went about business. But on the flip side of that, you have Mike Conley, who's considered like the nicest person in the world.
Absolute angel.
Like the complete polar opposite. What was the experience like playing with both of those guys? You got any funny moments to share with them too?
Yeah, well, Mike Conley, he was just like always like the housekeeping guy. Like, if I shoot too many ill-advised shots, he'd be, T.A., come on now. Yeah, we got to move the ball. And I'll be like, all right, I'm open, Mike Conley. Damn. He'd be like, you open for a reason, T.A. And so with Zebo being a ball-dominant guy, he would always be in Mike Conley's ear, like, yeah, come on to this block right here. Come on to the left block right here. I need you. And it was like he did a great job in just keeping everybody happy, man. Obviously, Marc, he wanted to get some touches and things of that nature. So it was like, dang, Mike, I got to applaud him because, man, he was a great locker room guy. He always spoke positive. And I just like how he led us as a team with so many different personalities.
I got to know, I always wonder about players who played a big part of their career in a certain city. If you take things personally, for example, this year at the trade deadline, you had Jimmy Butler being pretty outspoken about all the places he didn't want to go, Kevin Durant, and they both didn't want to go to Memphis. Do you take that personally? Like, why do you think that is?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure KD probably didn't want to go back to one of these small markets. I think he probably, he wanted to be where he was at. Them guys like used to playing in those big cities, bright lights. Up here, we just got, blue collar people and barbecue, man. We work hard, man. So if you ain't understanding what the culture is and what it's about, a lot of people probably, they'll probably be more reluctant to stand in those big cities. But, man, if y'all come down here, trust and believe, Grid Nation going to stand up. They're going to take you and accept you for what it is. But and it was another guy, Andre Iguodala. He didn't want to come down here neither. Mm-hmm. But, I don't know what's the stigma on that. Chandler, I think you started that, man.
That's my bad.
You're right, actually.
That's my fault, T.A. Listen, you guys are still in good shape. Right now, you're currently in the fifth.
Oh, you're just going to go right past
it? Look, T.A., I'm glad you said that, T.A., because I catch strays because of Chandler. I'm from BAZ. I catch strays because of Chandler. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you want to say anything? You just want to gloss over that?
I gave the energy back that they gave me. You know what I mean? That's all.
Hey, Chandler, I'm gonna make sure you get that pass, bro.
Come on, please, T.A.
Right, man.
Just have a nice big city pep rally.
Thank you.
Make it all nice.
I'll go back for sure. Tony, let me ask you about the current. Can I ask my next question, please?
Fine, go ahead.
Jeez. The Grizzlies, they're fifth in the West right now. They're led by John Morant, who's been dealing with a lot of injuries. And people are asking right now, can the Grizzlies win a title with John Morant as their best player?
I believe so, man. This guy's must-see TV. Box office, if you ask me. And I think this year he's been hit with a few injuries, knick-knack injuries too, nothing too major. He just went on the ESPN not too long ago and said something about he got a little help with his shoulder, and he came back and had like a 44-point game. But right now, this is the time I think, they want to try to win some games so they won't have to plan to play and make things a little harder because you got to figure they was number 2 at one point, right behind OKC. And they've been playing so well as a unit, man. You got guys like Jaren Jackson was an all-star this year. And I think they just got to get healthy at this time now. You know what I mean? John Morant, he is the spearhead of this organization. We go as he go. And I just need him to be Ja. I don't need him to be, thinking about too much or nothing while he out there. Just go out there, seek and destroy, attack, and have that mindset. I'm getting to the basket. I'm going to get my ball club to move and how I go.
I want to talk trash talkers because you had on your Celtics team Paul Pierce, Antoine Walker, Gary Payton, I'm pretty sure. Who was the best at yapping?
Oh, man, that's some good company you just said, too. If I had to pick, I had to say Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce pretty much was the, and the one that I like that he used to always say, he used to say he with us. And you gotta realize,
Someone shoots. He with us.
when you say he with us to a shooter or a non-shooter, that is so demoralizing. Like you probably just like a 50-foot shot, man. And so when he used to say stuff like that to players, he used to get into their head mentally. Sometimes he used to ask guys, he'd look at their jersey on the back of their jersey, like, what's your name again? To make guys feel like crap. So Paul Pierce, I had to give it to him, man, because he say some stuff, man. And you can't forget KG. KG get out there, he might say some stuff that you, like you said, as you seen, people want to meet him at the bus. So,
Another level.
So those guys together, man, I had to put them in the same category. Best trash that I played with.
TA, everything changed in 2008. We just mentioned when KG and Ray Allen, they were traded to the Celtics. Y'all came away with the ring that year. What do you remember most about that season? What were some of your most memorable moments of that year?
Oh, man, just the start of the season, man. We were in Italy. And, you know, when Ray and Paul and those guys got together, you know, the starting five chose to cut their hair and go bald. It was like, we're going to be on the same page. We're going to do everything together. You know, we're gonna go out together. We're going to go eat together. We're going to practice together. And we're going to win together. And our goal this year is to win a championship. And at the time, you know, I had tore my ACL, so I was coming back, and I'm looking like, cut my hair. I'm like, nah, I ain't cut my hair, man. I ain't going bald. And so just to see they stayed on that course and just to stick it through. And they used to have this word we used to say, Ubuntu. Ubuntu meaning everybody, we need everybody together, you know. And I can only be a better person if you being better yourself. So we used to use that a lot. You go in the huddle, 1, 2, 3, Ubuntu. And we stood on that. And just to see the groundwork and all 15 guys coming together and having that one team, one goal mindset, and to actually going out there and winning it, I mean, those practices, I mean, that's what stood out to me because I'm talking about it was almost either a fight almost every other day. But everybody had that one common goal, man. We're trying to win this year. There's no way we shouldn't win with Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, and Kevin Garnett on one team. And everybody wanted to be, you know, the truth to gather around it.
Rajan's been on the show talking about the fight with Ray, that they actually put boxing gloves on. What? Were you there?
I like it.
What? I know Lou loves that.
I love
What can
it.
you tell us about that?
So how that started, right? So Paul Pierce used to come into the practice court, and he used to see guys in there where the waffles and stuff get made at. And he used to always come in and be like, every time I come in here, y'all at the waffle, y'all eating waffles. And, you know, I guess he was on one that day. And he like, you know what? He like, you know what? I catch somebody in here eating waffles before me again. We scrapping. So he brought the gloves. And so the next day, man, when he brought those gloves, we had a guy named Patrick O'Brien on the team. He said he handed Patrick O'Brien the gloves. He brought everybody in the weight room. And he was like, if anybody got any secret smoke, we letting it out right now. So guys got to picking out who they had secret smoke with. And, Ray Allen and Rondo chose each other. And before you know it, they were scrapping. Wow. A good minute and a half scrap.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. That's a good.
It's like half a round.
Do we know who won? Like what happened?
like, how does it
It
end?
don't even matter who
there a
won.
knockout? Anything bad?
The
Is there
fact that they
blood?
put the gloves on, that's respect enough for both sides.
But how does
Yeah.
that, how does it come to an end? Does somebody stop it?
No, they got a minute and a half on the timer.
And that was it. That boom, done.
Oof.
And
Okay.
you get to scrapping. And guys picked out who they picked out. And it was funny, man, because didn't nobody want no smoke with Tick. Big fella had just finished the weight room workout, too. So it was like...
He's sweating. He ready to go. Yeah, I know he barking the whole nine. He ready to go. T.A., I want to ask you, man. Y'all played the Lakers in the 2008 finals and also the 2010 finals, and Kobe gave you your flowers. He said you were his toughest matchup over the course of your career. Who do you feel like were some of the guys that were your toughest matchups on the other side of it?
Oh man, I would have to say guys like Dwayne Wade, obviously Kobe, but y'all know who the Mamba is. Meanwhile, especially when he turned his name into the Mamba. I mean, Kobe probably was the only guy that fouled me out 6 fouls in 8 minutes when I was a rookie. So all throughout my career, it was like, yo, I had to get ready for this guy. But everybody know that. But if I could say anybody else, I would say Kevin Durant. Simply because when he come off of down screens, you locking and trailing. By the time you get around that big, he raise up, your hand is at his elbow.
Can't do nothing with him, yeah.
So can't do nothing with him. And then I would say Dwayne Wade simply because at the time, he was so strong and fast back. He was pulling that Euro move out, and then he was doing the over-the-top Euro, you know what I'm saying, crashing the glass, things of that nature. So I have to say Flash. One more guy I would have to give his credit to is Carmelo Anthony. Because Carmelo Anthony, he was good at not only if he jab and J you, but if he missed that shot, he following it up. So an elbow might be on your neck. He got the rebound, and now he's screaming. And don't let him get hot. He can get him up. So those three guys, if I could say, that I don't really get too much credit to, but those are the guys.
Tony, we love lists. We love rankings on this show. So I'm going to ask you a question. I want you to fill in the blank. You are a top blank defender in NBA history.
I am the top all time.
Let's go. First team.
First team. And I say this, listen, because listen, this is why I say this. Because they're going to bring up a lot of errors and things of that nature. But it'd be nice, man, where I had to stick guys like Joe Johnson. Then the next game, I got KD. Then right after that, I got Durant. Then I got Kobe. And then it's like, damn, I don't get no rest. I'm like, where's the Terrence Rosses of the world at? Where's the when do I get
Terrence Ross catching a stray?
When do I get the rest? You get what I'm saying? I don't get the rest. You see what I'm saying? And for me to be on the court, I had to be up for the challenge. If not, I'm letting my team down.
It's interesting too because most bigs kind of have more help side responsibilities, right? There's no every night, I know as a wing, you have someone trying to give you 40. Like Rudy Gobert won 40. You know what I mean? He doesn't have he has some off nights at the center position in the league. You know what I mean?
Come on, man. You a big and you got to stick Nazi Muhammad one night, then you got to stick Eric Dampier the next night before you get the dirt. Hey, come on, bro, you shutting down? I had to literally stop guys from getting their average, and then in our era, Lou and Chandler, y'all know we could do this back then.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So imagine if I could have did this back then.
Right.
Man, hey, come on, man. So I give myself a lot of credit simply because
As you should.
those
As you
times
should. And you was influential because all the guys, they doing this now. They they waving the finger, they putting the one in the air. That's all you, TA.
Yeah, because I mean, nobody really signing up for that part of the ball. And so at the time, it was like, okay, I start understanding how you get these votes and when they start voting and things of that nature. So specifically that day, when I was playing the Golden State Warriors, they was giving Klay Thompson his flowers. They was just saying he's one of the best shooters of all time. And so Marc, Mike, and Zebo, they turned down the microphone. As I'm watching them see if they're going to get him the microphone, they turning it down. So I'm in my locker, I'm waiting on them to see who else they going to ask want to get mic'd up. They looked at me. I said, yeah, put it on the right side.
That's awesome.
So I was ready.
Awesome. I'm glad you're here because Draymond recently came out and said, Wemby's obviously been injured. He was on his way to what looked like a Defensive Player of the Year award. And then Draymond said, you know what? He's out. I want it. I deserve it. Can you make the case for Draymond to get it this year?
Dre, my boy too, and he locks stuff up. He do a lot of stuff on the court, man. He like one of those. Man, I don't know football that well, but he one of the linebackers. Yeah, safety. He get everybody in the right place, being on the backside of the defense. But I wouldn't have him as my favorite, man. My favorite is the guy from Atlanta,
Dotson.
Yeah. I like Dyson. I like how Dyson. He's all over the court, man. He's in the passing lane. I've been watching him too. When bigs get that ball on that mid post and they turn their head, he sprint from that corner, ripping them from behind. I'm talking about, I like his game, man. And he's up for the challenge. And I done seen him come down here in Memphis and get a key stop for a game winner by LeVert. I was actually at that game. I'm like, man, this boy can really play defense.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, me, I'm always being in favor of the guards, man. But Draymond, you know, he going to politic himself. You know, he got to put himself in the name for that.
Even a guy like Lou Dort, like, he doesn't get enough credit.
Yeah.
Like, he is so good defensively, especially on that team that's so good offensively. He's key.
I like Dort, too. He's another guy I say who fit that first team all defense moniker too, because he definitely holds his hat on the defensive end for that team, and being number one in the league, we supposed to, you know, salute the winning. So yeah, if he get it, it wouldn't be a bad option either, Chandler.
Oh, Lou, you're not going to go?
Yeah, I dazed off for a minute because I was.
Because you're thinking?
Yeah, I went down a rabbit hole. I was trying to get a bucket on all of y'all, but anyway. I want to ask you about Wemby, man. We breezed past it, but do you think he has an opportunity to be one of the best defenders that we've seen in the game in a long, long time?
Yeah, if healthy, I can see him winning that award multiple times. I mean, here's a guy that's 7'6", you know, twinkle toes, can move his feet. You know, he ain't clumsy or nothing like that. He got good IQ for the ball. I mean, half of the shots that you take on him, I'm thinking, like, you got to get ultra because he's so long. And being down there in the organization like San Antonio, I mean, he's only going to get better, man. You got guys who've been birthed from that place, like a la Tim Duncan, man. I'm pretty sure if he come and, you know, give him some insight, it's only going to enhance his game. And he's a guy, like I say, man, a generational talent. We probably won't see nothing like this in so long. So I'm embracing it. I'm enjoying and watching him each and every night. And man, his length, man, and the way he goes, he could get floaters out there. I done seen him catch floaters out there. You know what I mean? So anytime you could catch a floater, man, and Lou, you was big with that float game. So anytime a guy that could just time a floater, man, I mean, it's good to watch.
Yeah, hopefully all of that gets sorted out and he's healthy next season. Before we let you go, the One City Initiative, I know you got the shirt on right now. Tell us about it.
Oh, man, well, One City, man, is definitely a part of me, man. You know, with Kobe Williams and my boy Joakim Noah, you know, they've been doing this for a while in Chicago. And basically, I'm the commissioner, you know, of the league. And we work with 28 violent prevention groups, man, you know, help mediate conflict, you know, helping guys, you know, just change their paths, man, giving good hope and changing their direction and, you know, what's going on. Meeting guys where they at, you know, because we're working with guys who are at high risk, you know, guys who probably will do some shooting or got a chances of getting shot, you know what I'm saying? And I think basketball being that glue to kind of mold it together, I think it brings the city together. You know, I'm from Chicago. And one of the things I want to try to implement that is up in Memphis, man, because it's a lot of senseless violence going on. And having something for them to do, you know, they get paid every weekend. They also get, you know, hour classes, whether it's about financial literacy, job courses, things of that nature. I think One City is putting on, man. I think this program is going to stop a lot of violence across the nation. We can just continue to spread this, you know, this movement.
It's awesome.
Love that. Love to hear that, Tony. This has been awesome. Come back anytime. More stories. We want to hear all of them. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, T.A.
Appreciate y'all for having me.
Yes,
Thank you. We'll be right back.
The running back, run it up, the running back, run it up.